Hey guys, and welcome back for another video. Today we'll be unboxing another product from Prismbeam. These are actually going to be the new taillights for the R35 GTR. So let's go ahead and go with the unboxing. We'll show you all the details and information about the new taillights, and then we'll do a full installation, and then I'll do some after pics and videos to show you the quality and all that afterwards. So let's go ahead and go into the unboxing. All right, so excited for these. If you saw my previous videos, I put new taillights and headlights on the FRS on my 8.6. They turned out amazing, I really loved them. So I went ahead and got the GTR R35 taillights because right now I'm rocking the old original 2010 old LED taillights, which of course are classic and iconic for the R35, but with everything else that I've done to the car, I've pretty much made it more and more modern. So let's go ahead and dig into these. Stuck inside these inlets here, you'll see these new taillights wrapped in plastic. We'll go ahead and take the plastic off. And here we are. So these are the smoked RGB updated taillights for the R35. It's awesome. They're definitely gonna give it more of an aggressive look. Still iconic, especially at night, since these will be full LED strips. Should be as simple as a plug and play. Ready to go. All the way around. Nice. Of course, we're looking at the seals. All the way around. No issues. Look pretty inset. But of course, the time will tell, right? Always time will tell when it comes to taillights and headlights. So that's going to be our passenger side. Then we have, this will be our wiring remote, so we're gonna harness this in, as well as I believe this is a remote to turn it off and on from a switch of a button to go from RGB and then also to just regular legal driving on the streets. We'll check the other one. Here's our driver's side. It's again nice and smoked. Looks pretty good. Can't wait to see these on the car. But once again, all plug and play. Even come with the grommet. Make sure it's a water seal tight fit. Nice. So yeah, I like it. Looks interesting. I can't wait to put it on. It's gonna be freaking amazing. I can't wait for the RGB, and you get sequentials. You can make it, animation startup, and all those details. So if you're interested in seeing all those, just stay tuned, and we're gonna head on into the installation part of the video. And thanks again, Prismbeam, and here we go. So here we are back outside. We got the R35 pulled out. I'm probably gonna have to maybe put it up on some ramps in the back just to get a little higher. As well as we'll also do a cold startup and air it up right now. So right now it's slammed to the ground. But if you're new to this channel, this is my 2010 R35 GTR, nicknamed Fitzilla. As you can see, I've did quite the upgrade in the sense of the body kit. It's a full carbon narrow body kit from Robot Craftsman. I've done quite a bit to it. This is show car as well as taking on multiple adventures. But today's project is going to be those taillights. So these are the original 2010 R35 taillights with the individual LEDs inside the outer ring. You'll see the 2017 and ups kind of have the single double halo strip LEDs that go along. So this will give us that updated 2017 look, as well as it'll give us a little extra functionality. I'm gonna give you a cold start, as well as air the sucker up, so I can get a little more access to the rear bumper. Because if you didn't know, to get to these taillights, you need to actually take off the whole rear bumper because the taillights are embedded into the bumper. But we'll go through that. Give it a little start up. Haven't driven in a couple weeks. Running on E85 right now, so a little bit of a harder start. Alright, let's give a little air up. And we're gonna move forward. Alright, so now that we're aired up, brought up on blocks, we're going to go ahead and take off this bumper. It's going to be a little bit different. Since the aftermarket bumper, I don't have the under tray, so I'm going to miss out on like 12 bolts that are underneath the car. But I still will have the side ones that are underneath where it connects over here. We'll have a couple of those. We of course have our interior trim, and we're going to have bolts. I believe there's 5 of them on each side for the passenger side and the driver's side taillight area. And then once we get all 5 of those, all the interior trim pieces taken out of the way to get to those 10 bolts, we're gonna get to these bolts, and then we should be able to pull off this bumper. So we're gonna go piece by piece here. So, first thing to do is take off this little trim piece, which before you can pop it off from here, there are some clips in here. So you'll find a small clip like this in the center. Using a plastic pry tool, you'll pop that out. Then you're gonna have 4 of these, which are kind of like where you would, so your hook points, so you could put a elastic, stopper strap to make sure that stuff doesn't go flying around in your trunk. But there's 4 of these. You're gonna have to put your little plastic tool in the little crevice, so then get focus, and then you're just gonna pop it out. Once you get it in the little crevice there you go. Once you get that, then you can pull and it'll pop right out. So once you get all 4 of those, then you can pop this out. So all you do is grab from the edge, give it a little tug, and you'll see it clips, pops, sounds scary, pop out of the trunk. And put it off to the side. So there's more of these small clips to get to those bolts for the taillights. There's going to be 1 clip up top in the corner, 1 in the back, 1 down below. Say hello to the Godzillas. And then you have another 1 down below. I don't know, which already popped out. And you'll have another 1 up here. So there should be a total of 6. And then we'll be able to take those out. Same tool, just popping them out. Alright, and once you get all those clips out, you should be able to pull each individual one of these. You're gonna have to get behind this because there's gonna be a couple bolts way back there. So, but you should be able to get access without having to take this one. I'll do the same with the other side. Pull this one out. Now we have access. You'll see a bunch more wiring here because I have, this is wiring for my third brake light down below, which came with the kit for the Robot Craftsman kit. So now we're gonna go for all 5 bolts. So we have 1 here, 2 there, 3 there, and if you open this, you can see the 4th one down below, and you won't be able to see the 5th one, but it's gonna be behind where this bar is. It's blocking it. It's way back in the corner. You're gonna use an 8mm ratchet, or if you have an 8mm socket, you could do so too. So you're gonna use those to get them off. Let's see. I've already loosened them. Once you've loosened them a little bit, then you can just throw them off by hand. It's pretty simple. But it looks like I'm gonna have to use a little more ratcheting on this guy. Ratcheting. There we go. Should be able to take that off now. Alright, so there's one side. You're gonna do the same with the other side. Alright, now that you've gotten those bolts out, you're gonna have to also get this harness off that goes to the tail light. And so what I typically do is, you can see that little clip right there. You gotta push in this clip while pulling out. So what I usually do, which is hard to do with one hand, is I'll typically push this, but I'll put a flathead screwdriver in this little crevice between. So when I push down, all I have to do is twist, and then it will pop out. Makes it a little bit easier for me, at least. You would have your under tray, which would have about 12 to 14 nuts, I believe, that you have to take out. But in this case, I don't have it because I have this massive diffuser. So it makes it a little bit easier for me. So look up another video to be able to get that plate off, because you're gonna have to if you're gonna take off your stock bumper. Typically you'll have a bolt down here that attaches into a hook, and that bolt that you'll also have to take out too. But in my case, there's just a 10mm bolt that goes in there. Or a full screw that goes in here. But I just take that out, unclip the side, and I should be ready to go. I'm gonna do the same with the other side now, and then we'll prep to take the bumper off. All right, so what you're also gonna wanna do is tape off the edge where the rear bumper meets the quarter panel. And that way, if you go to try to pull it off, there's a screw in there. You don't wanna scratch your wrap or your paint, which we've already done to this car on the other side. We scratched the wrap. So I'm gonna tape both sides, and then to make it easier, you get a second person instead of trying to do it yourself. So we're gonna get 2 people to take off this bumper. All right, so here we are with the bumper completely taken off. And now we got access to the 4 bolts for the old taillights so that we can swap out with the new ones. Also, when you go to take off this bumper, make sure you don't forget your license plate cord. So you gotta make sure to unplug that wire and make sure that those harnesses for these lights are pulled through the whole of the car to make sure you don't tug on them. So we're gonna go ahead and take out these 4 bolts. You'll have one here, one here, one there, and one there. They're 10mm. be able to take these off. There we go, all one piece. And they're out with the old and in with the new. So all you're gonna do is put these back in, line it back into place, and put those 4 bolts back in. All right, so we got all the 4 screws back in. I took off the zip tie that was on here so that I can feed this through the hole, and this grommet's gonna go to the back of your rear frame. We're gonna plug this into the side indicator through here. Now that we have that plugged in, this is gonna plug into your main harness or the adapter harness, which I have to help change the turning signal from yellow to red so it looks a little more modern. I'll show you that when we get there. This one is going to be from the harness that they gave us. We're going to plug that together. I believe this is the one that controls to the remote so that I can turn it on and off whenever we want to. So we'll get back to that. So let's go ahead and do the other side, and then we'll slap the bumper back on, and we'll show you what it looks like. All right, the bumper is back on. Definitely grab 2 people. It's a 2-person project without wanting to scratch the side of your car. But yeah, we got it all back in place. I'm gonna do some initial finishing cleanups with the couple bolts. I have the 1 bolt on the outside here to put back in. And then I need to go up top and put in all the bolts that will hold down the bumper from the inside, which are about 4 to 5 bolts, depending on what your setup is. And then put all the inner pieces back together, and then we'll do a final product review at the end there. We'll go through all the different unique features of the taillights as well. Make sure before you close up everything that you connect this given purple wire. You have to connect from one all the way to the other. I believe this is going to give us access to the remote ability to start and turn off and turn on the taillights. All right, so I have it fully installed. Trunk slightly closed. See the perfect fitment. It's pretty good. So we'll do a test run. I'll show you through the features and the app. So the app you'll actually find through the website. The website is, if you look down at the GTR taillights, you'll find in the user manual a light called Light Running. So you're going to download that app through their site, and then that way you can control. So we'll go through those features now. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the light. Goes through a little startup animation feature, RGB, blue, green, red, and then we'll go to the last color that you have set up. So in this case, I had blue set up. I love the way this blue looks. As you know, me and Godzilla Radiation, this is the one that I'll most likely be using. But let's go through the other features as we come back into the car here. So this is your brake. This is your turn signal or hazard light, which you'll find that it's the center. Now typically this is yellow, but because I have the turn signal to brake light unit, it changes basically my yellow turn signal into my brake red light. So in this case it turns out to be red, which is, I kind of like that feature. It's a little more modern when your turn signal is red. But it's an easy unplug situation, and you can go back to the stock factory one and it'll be yellow again. So that center ring would normally be yellow. And then your reverse light is going to be your inside ring. That inside ring will turn white. So this is that app. So after you download Light Running through their user manual online, on their website, you'll then be able to open up this app. You'll click on the device that appears, which then will pop into this menu. This is your main controller. You could, right now I'm in solid mode, so I could go through different colors. So like pink, red, blue, green, yellow, white, all the different types of colors. I even have a scale. You could run through a scale of different colors. And then there's functions, there's different modes. So if you click on the mode option here, you can run through different setups. So right now I have it on RGB. You can just follow this wheel here, click on certain ones, or you can run up and down. So I'll go through a couple features here. All right, so as you can see right now, the lights are blue, but after you've connected the purple wire in the back between the two lights, then we're gonna set up that remote so that we can, as we're driving or whenever we want, we can turn these RGB, if you have it set up for a certain color, maybe something's running, but then let's say you jump on the highway and you need to shut it off without having to get out of your car or go into the app, that remote will allow you to switch it back to the legal driving red light. Or if you're coming out of a show and you're driving off and you want these blue lights, for example, to show off as you're leaving, but as you get onto the street, you can press that remote and be able to switch it back to red. So I'm going to show you how to program that remote to be able to turn this back to red. All right, so here we are back. All right, here we are back in the car. So what you're gonna have to do first is you're gonna grab your remote, because you have to do this within 10 seconds. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna turn on just the driving light, or it just activates the feature of the light in the back, and then we're going to hold the brake down for 10 seconds. And within that 10 seconds, you are going to hold this button down for 5 seconds to pair it to the brake lights. So here we go. We're gonna come on in here, turn the switch just to the driving light. It's gonna start beeping. Press the brake light or brake, hold the button down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. And you can let both go after the 10 seconds. Now back here, after you've held that remote and paired it for the 10 seconds, and all you have to do is now, let's say I'm driving and I'm pulling off with my blue lights, and I want to be able to switch it off as I'm driving away before I get onto the highway or the main streets. All I would have to do is press this button. Boom. Automatically switches back to red, back to your legal driving. So no more RGB, no more color. And it's an easy way. You can just keep this in the car. Whenever you need to switch back to normal while you're driving, it's that easy. I find that is pretty awesome. I do wish the feature was if I pressed it again, it would go back to your RGB array color. But you can always go back in the app and turn it back on color. But I guess this is going to make it easier, so when you're coming out of the shows or out of your car meets, it's just a quick button press and you're good to go. Easy install and pretty easy to program that remote. But yeah, I love it. So you can change it on a car show, you can have different modes going. If you're at a car meet, you can have different modes going. super excited for that feature on this car. Also having an updated LED setup versus the old LEDs. I think it's going to definitely modernize this car and continue to go with the theme of the Godzilla. If you're interested in purchasing these taillights through Prismbeam for your GTR R35, it can work from anywhere from 2009 all the way to 24. Make sure you check out the link in the description below to get your $100 off your set of your new taillights. I really appreciate Prismbeam for sending these out, and I'll close you out with a couple reels to get a better viewing of this product. So thanks again for sticking around, and here we go.